Sorry, guys. Technology will always disgrace you. So 1 second. All right. Cool. All right. So how the class will go. So I'm going to do a bit of introduction, talking about myself, my background, my journey, and then we'll go through like evaluating where you are now, and then the rest of the class. So I think before we start, I don't know if you ever shared the Slido link. Can everyone just kind of indicate what kind of tech roles they're interested in? Most times it's between developer roles and non-developer roles. So if I'll just give you guys like 1 or 2 minutes to kind of choose what roles you guys are interested in. Are you interested in developer roles where you kind of code and stuff, or are you interested in non-developer roles? So I'll just give 1 minute and I'll see how that goes. I hope the poll is active. All right, cool. I'm gonna try. I think 5 people have joined. 6 people have joined. Okay, it's just to choose, like, just to give a sense of, okay, you know, how many people are interested in tech, like developer roles and non-developer roles. So I'm going to check the results now. Woo! So 71% of the class, okay, 78% now are interested in non-developer roles, and 22% are 30%. So this is interesting because a lot of people know about developer roles and a lot of people don't know about non-developer roles. But from the class, it's so obvious that, you know, people are interested in non-developer roles, and we'll touch on that later in class. Thanks for participating. So about me, I'm sort of a hybrid kind of, like say, techie person. I did my first degree in University of Lagos, electrical engineering. I went on to do a master's in engineering business management just because I wanted to do like most of the class like core developer or non-engineering core engineering role. So I did like a management course to understand. And back then that was like the easiest way to do it. I've done both the project management certification, both Princeton and PMP. I've worked in multiple companies, from Coca-Cola, Nigerian Bottling Company. I did my NYC at ExxonMobil. I worked at a telecoms company called Vodacom. I did some work at Google. I did some work at Nitio, that is a venture-backed US company. In between, I also ran like a tech consulting business, and we'll talk about that later in class. And then I started doing startup advisory. I founded a startup platform called Startup Plug because I realized that I was passionate about helping people understand things around startup, things around resources. I also co-founded, 2 startups and a business. Now I angel invest in startups. I love like feeling around with innovative products, innovative solutions. I love listening to music. Unfortunately, I'm an Arsenal fan. So yeah, we'll talk about that later in class. But that's a bit about me. And I'm gonna go deep down into my background later in class. But I just wanted to run through like a profile of what I look like or what I've done so far. I think the first thing in designing your tech career is obviously evaluating, where you are. And I start with this in class because I think a lot of people forget who they are, and they also don't understand themselves. And understanding yourself is going to take like a long journey, but you need to start. So the first thing you need to do is like, okay, take stock of, am I in the middle of my career? Am I, starting my tech career, or am I trying to advance? Who am I? Am I in school? Am I a university graduate? Or do I have 2 years business experience? Have I run a business before? And then you start to narrow it down to, what do people say I'm good at? Do people say I'm a good talker? Do people say I'm a good writer? Do people say I know how to organize people? Do people say, oh, I know how to do events? As you start to kind of like run through these questions of, okay, what do my friends say I'm good at? What do my family members say I'm good at? You start to, pick out different themes, and you start to understand and see if it resonates with you. And next set of questions are basically, what aspects of my work do I like the most? Or what aspect of the course do I like the most? Do I like things that are mentally engaging? Or do I like things that allow me to use my hands? Or do I like things that allow me to like kind of plan? And then what motivates me? What are the things that I see that I easily do? What are like, do I easily like to wake up in the morning and, jump on a stand-up call or jump on a call with my teammates? Or am I someone that I like to take my time, and do some research? Am I motivated by cooking? Do I want to do something around cooking? Just little things like that to start forming impressions that you can figure out if it resonates. And then obviously, what do I do in my spare time? And I'll talk, I mean, obviously everything kind of relates, but as you start to understand, evaluate who you are and where you are, it starts to give you a sense of the things that you are aligned with. Um, Even questions as much as, sorry, as little as, okay, what's one topic area that I know more than people? So for example, um, let me give you an example. In my circle, I probably know, I mean, I'm female and I watch football, and I probably know more about football than most people in my circle. And watching football has helped me understand, teamwork, organization, even location. Sometimes when I travel and, I want to connect with people, football, and I can say, oh, so for example, I traveled to Morocco and I started talking about Moroccan players, and how I even knew places was because I'd followed football and they used to go and play in those cities. So by the time you start understanding like things, you pick up easily, and you now finally get to, okay, what are the top three things I've done in my career or in my course or in my business that I'm proud of? So for example, myself, I can easily tell you one of the top three things I've done so far is launch Startup Plug and, have it out there to exist. Now, it may be something small, but it tells you what I consider as priorities, and what I did in my spare time, and also what my passion may lie with. So for example, you can already tell, oh, I'm interested in startups, or I'm interested in building something that can live on the internet. I'm interested in helping people get resources. With that information, it's easier for you to understand where next you want to go. Now, what people do is when they're in tech or when they're trying to transition to tech, they don't like consciously figure out, all the answers to these questions, and then they get stuck like, oh, where do I want to start? And you guys will see how everything gets related. So the next and I'm going to try to make this as resourceful and as interactive as it can be. The next phase is understanding your strengths and skills. So you know where you are, what people have said about you, what you like, what motivates you. The next step you can take is to understand your strengths and skills. And most times skills can be hard skills, can be soft skills. And what a lot of people don't understand is you can transfer skills. So for example, if I'm organizing a a getaway for me and my friends, and I book the travel, I book the bus, I make sure everything is done, that's coordination and planning skills. So I started a small business, for example, and I'm selling phone chargers or battery banks. I went to the market, I negotiated a price. That's negotiation skills. Now, what you want to do is to be able to understand the skills that already come easily to you, the ones that you've developed over time, and the ones that you still want to learn. So, for example, while I was doing this deck, I realized I want to learn more design skills. I want my deck to look really, really good, And so I may be looking for opportunities that allow me to do that. So understanding your strengths, your skills will also help you define what your roadmap is going to look like, or how you're going to transition into tech, and how you can even sell yourself. So like I said, skills can be transferable. Identify your own unique skills, identify the skills you've developed so far, and obviously as a takeaway, I would probably send some like skill assessment tests that through Trefort to you guys, or obviously you get it on the website on YouTube. And then you can take some of those assessments to even understand, if you don't have friends, you can ask to even understand what you're likely to be in tune with. And then once you do that and you note down the plans you have for the skills you want to learn, then it's easier for you to kind of bucket it into like, hard skills and soft skills. So for example, like I said, hard skills are, oh, I can design, even as easy as, oh, I can use Instagram, I can use analytics. I know how to do Facebook groups. I've used a CRM platform before, or I can use Excel. I can do bookkeeping, I can do copywriting. So if you're a writer and you want to improve, you can go into copywriting. If you feel like you really like, if you like photo editing or video stuff, you should also like kind of understand that those are hard skills that you actually have to kind of like specialize in. And if you already have that, then it's better for you to kind of be aware of it and know what you want to do with it. Like I said, there's also soft skills. So you have presentation skills, negotiation skills, communication, adaptability, stakeholder management. These are things that you actually need to be aware of to improve, or to know that you already have it. And then, for example, kind of like build on them. Now, how does everything come into play? And I give an example. So a couple of case studies next. I will take them one by one. And a regular roadmap may just look linear. So for example, in tech, people feel like this is what it looks like. So you have an engineering intern. She's worked, she got a job as a software engineering intern. She's probably working for 6 months, 1 year. And after that, she becomes a junior developer. She's interested in front end. She does some years. She does very well. She becomes a mid-level developer, same front end, then goes on to become a senior developer, then goes on to become a team lead, possibly a principal, and then a CTO. And now this is a linear, I'm going to be from an software engineering intern to a CTO, and that's linear. And that's what most people think like a career roadmap is. And I'm not saying that this is not a career roadmap. This is a linear one. And some people is suited for them. They're like, okay, you know what? I think I want to become a CTO in 5 years. Or I think I want to become a CTO in 10 years. And then this is the path they choose. Some people don't even know if they want to become CTO. They're just like, I just want to just start. I really love software. I want to start interning, and I want to go like straight to junior to mid-level. And then this is what it looks like in real life. So you have a junior software engineer that is building quality software, and after that they become like, most times you're fixing bugs, you're learning, there's not so much responsibility. And then you have a senior software engineer after, I don't know, a couple of years, and then you design, you build more software, you start coaching junior people. And then you obviously, get promoted to a lead developer. From there, you become like an architect, and then you like become a team lead, and bam, you're CTO. And obviously, this is one linear path that most people that are really core developers or core engineers may want to take. But in real life, which is where I'm going to try and make it practical, this is not like what really happens. And this is for obviously developer roles, software engineering roles. Now, what it may actually look like can be another linear one, but this is for non-developer roles. So you can become a product management intern, get promoted to an associate product manager, get promoted to like a product manager, do another couple of years, become a senior product manager, become head of products, and become chief product officer. This is also linear, but this is also like non-developer roles. But it's a clear path to say, okay, in 10 years, this is what I want to be, and which is fine. What usually happens in real life, sometimes, and this is the first case study we've done, obviously I'll ask questions immediately after the case studies. You can actually start in a company and become a design intern. Start designing, understand. And then while you're in that company, you might start taking a software developer course and then learn about, building software. Your manager says that, you say you're interested, and you switch to a junior developer stack, which is fine. And after that, you might realize that, oh, I did full stack. Full stack is like front end, back end, a couple of things, but I really like back end more, and you do really well, and you get moved to like, because you've already gained some skills and you've specialized in back end, you can actually move to a back end developer role and then you become a mid-level developer, which is perfect. During your role, you can do very well. You can start working on products. You can join Treford, do like some product management skills because you're aware. And for example, your manager may feel like you have those skills. You can become a product manager. You can be a technical product manager or a non-technical product manager, but you can actually become a product manager. From a product manager, you can continue in a linear form. And from a senior product manager, from a senior product manager, you become a chief product officer. From there, you can even go start your own startup and become a CEO or be a CEO. Now, if you see, this is like a non-linear way of, getting to CEO or getting to chief product officer. Now, what happens is a lot of people feel like because I'm product manager, I can't switch to engineering, or because I'm engineering, I can't switch to product manager, or because I'm a designer, I can't switch. There's so many ways that you can switch. There's so many ways that you can move. There's so many ways you can grow. And some of them we'll talk about in class. I'm going to pause here just because I want to ask questions. I don't know if anybody has questions. I'm going to check the chat. A mix of both, non-developer role. Cool. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if I'm going too fast. I'm just going to stop here. Favor, can you guys hear me? Everything good?
Yes, Yewande, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Okay, so I'll just go on. So I'm going to take another case study, which is, from data analysis. So this is someone that, started with, oh, I want to move into tech. I really, really, feel like someone told me I should do data analysis. So I started data analysis. But as I started, I now realized that, oh, I'm actually good with operations. And so I switched to operations. Now, remember when I said they're transferable skills? So because they're transferable skills, and because you can own your own development and your own learning, and if you're in a good company or if you're in a good startup, it's easier for you to wear multiple hats. And because you wear multiple hats, you can actually move. So from an operations associate, you can decide to do like, HR courses, work with the HR, see if there's an opportunity there, apply for the opportunity and move to HR. You might get into HR and realize that, okay, I really like HR, but I really like the operational components and I want to go back to operations. Opportunities may arise where we're opening an office in Kano, we need an operations manager. You do some hiring, but we also still need like the person to own operations, and you can opt in for that role. It doesn't make you look crazy, or it doesn't mean that you're not focused. It just means that you're just, as you grow higher in your career, you're learning more about yourself and the things that resonate with you. And after that, you can get promoted to become a country lead, and from there you can become a COO. Now, because you've done data analysis, you've done operations, at the early stage, you've done HR, you've gone to roll out a new branch, you've become country lead, it's easier for you to become COO. It's easier for you to still be in a tech company, run the operations, hire people, manage finance, because in some way, you've actually kind of done all those things and you've gotten to the end. Or no, let me not say the end, but you've gotten to the top of the ladder in that company or in that startup or in other companies. So most times, this is actually what the roadmap looks like. Now, I'll do like a few more examples just so that, sorry, my slide is hanging. All right, cool. So we have, and I'm going from sorry, 1 second. I'm going from a little bit technical. So we have solutions architects, and the solutions architect is just someone that, kind of like, an architect designs solutions for the company, tries to do some research, understands products, just at a high level. And the person might feel like, okay, you know what? I've done solutions architect for like 5 years or 4 years or 3 years. I saw a course on Coursera. I took it. I started shadowing the product manager. An opportunity came. I can switch to product manager. And then while I'm in product manager, I realized that there's something called product marketing manager. And that person, for example, if you work in a company like Google, there's a product marketing manager role, because Google is like a big marketing influence company. And you can realize that, it was part of my job in my last role, my last job or my last company, but in this company is segmented. And I think I'm more focused or I'm more interested in that. I've developed myself. I think I can go for it. You have to apply for it and you apply for it. And after a while, the company goes, you do very well, you see a marketing opportunity and you realize that, okay, I just don't want to do product marketing. I want to be able to define like events, rollouts, activations. I've developed myself, or I just even want to try it. And I'm looking for a company that can give me a chance. And a company gives you a chance, and you go to become a marketing lead. From there, you start, improving yourself more, doing like filling other shoes, and an opportunity comes and you become a commercial lead. And then after that, you're like, oh, while I was doing marketing, I thought of an idea to help like startups, roll out marketing easier, or marketing content, or even like things like, printing merch. I thought about it. I saw a gap. There's a better way to do it. I want to find, do my own startup, and you become a startup founder. And then you do that for like some time and realize, oh, you know what, it's really hard. But a company comes to meet you, they like what you've done, they want to acquire you, they want you to be their chief. I mean, it can go, I think the point I'm trying to say, it can go anyway. It's not necessarily just linear. Now, what people think is most times it's just very linear and it's just boom. Like you can go through a series of steps and still end up like where you think you want to be, or you might even discover something else. Like the most popular ones are you join customer support. Customer support is actually one really, really good way to transition into tech, not because all the work is dumped on you or stuff, but because you get to talk to customers, you have to understand the solution, the product, the company, to be able to defend or to be able to solve problems. And that's one way you start to understand how the company works, the roles that you might be interested in. And then obviously, because you talk to customers, you can pick up skills like selling skills, because you might want to, sell more things as you're talking to the customers. You can understand customer success, and you can become a general manager. You can just find your own startup. So the different ways that you can design your own tech roadmap. I think the most important thing, or the most important things from this, is you actually have to keep improving yourself. You actually have to go for opportunities that align. But the thing is, if you're not aware and conscious of the things you like, what you're good at, it might be a struggle, because everything might be a haze. So for example, if you've noticed, I've talked about different roles. Like when I was in university, there was nothing like customer success. I didn't even know what solutions architect was. I didn't really know like product marketing, was a thing. But that is why you have to like start where you are and then just keep learning and exposing yourself. I think I have another quiz here, and I just wanted to know. So based on the linear and non-linear paths, so some people actually like linear paths. Some people like non-linear paths. So I wanted to ask the class, like, what path are you likely to do? I've seen some people that say, you know what, I'm not really good at XYZ. I just want to focus and become, this in future. Or some people say, I want to explore. I can't really figure it out. And I want to do multiple roles. I know that I might be this in future, but I want to take this path. So I wanted to ask, if you had your way, what tech career roadmap are you likely to have? So if you guys can answer, I don't know if you guys can see the Slido link. Cool. So 4 people have answered. Cool. All right. Okay. Just going to, and if I'm moving too fast, you guys should please tell me in the chat. All right, join Slido. Okay. So I'm going to answer one quick question. So the person says, so you're saying that without years of experience in a particular role, one can switch to a different tech role. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as you're in a role and you're providing value and you're learning and you feel like you have picked up skills that are relevant to another role, you've also like done like some personal development. You've also like, so for example, and we'll get there, and you guys will see how everything will fit in. So for example, if you've done a side project where you are the lead, marketer or something, but at work you're an accountant, and you've done courses and you can demonstrate that you have the experience, or that, and the experience maybe requires like 0 to 2 years, and you feel like you want to switch, you can definitely do it. You can definitely apply for that role. You can definitely use experience that is not in your day job to kind of demonstrate that you're passionate about it, that you have the skills, and some things in your day job can also stand out to show that yes, this person is a very good learner. This person can be given a chance, and obviously I have some real life examples for you to see. But yes, you can actually transfer roles or switch roles, but obviously you have to demonstrate that you have some form of knowledge or awareness about it. So I'm going to look at the results. All right. So 33% feel like they're going to do a linear, which is fine, and 67 says non-linear, which is true because most people, in my experience, do a non-linear path just because, one, tech keeps evolving, two, roles keep evolving, and three, you yourself, you keep evolving. Now, that does not mean you cannot evolve in a linear form. It's just that you're more likely to go in a non-linear form. Another thing that affects this is also the opportunities you're presented with. So you can wish all you want, but in front of you, if at your job you don't have the opportunity or you're not seeing roles, this can also affect your rate of switching or your rate of learning, and we'll touch on that as well. So this is a real life example. His name is Babajide. He's currently the GM of M-Copper. M-Copper is a company that is working or is operating in multiple African countries. He has worked in, Andela, a couple of companies, and we'll look at it. Well, you see, the funniest thing is Babajide has worked in tech, he has worked in consulting, he has worked in banking. So how did he become a GM for M-Copper? So luckily for us, there's a YouTube video that he did recently. I've put it and it will be in the slide so you guys can watch. It's a very, very, very good video because it gives you perspective of, how non-developer roles can look like, how you need to seize the opportunity, how I'm sure if they asked Babajide 5 years ago, do you think you can be GM of M-Copper? I don't think he would even be aware that he could do it, talk less of know that he should go for it. But you see, as he went in his journey, and let me see if this will show. Perfect. So this is real life, his LinkedIn. And so we're going to start from where he started from. So according to his LinkedIn and obviously what the video, he started as an administrative assistant in Philips Consulting. And what was he doing? He was helping them, for logistics, for recruitment. And then after that, he became an analyst. And then obviously he was a recruitment services analyst. So this is important to understand what kind of analyst he was. And then after that, he became a senior analyst at Philips Consulting. And then he became a banker. So he went to Access Bank. Obviously, as an analyst in recruitment projects, he's just moved to HR business partner, and then he started doing HR projects, and then he started doing talent acquisition. And if you watch the video, he talks about how he went on to join Andela. And now Andela is a technical company trying to train developers, trying to, do something world changing. They had just started in Nigeria, they were hiring, and he became a community manager in technical talent. Now, how did he go from Access Bank to a tech company like Andela? I don't even think that Babajide had really, really worked closely with developers. I don't really think that, he even knew a lot about, what developer needs were. But because he had skills from Philip Consulting that he had translated to Access Bank and knowledge and experience, and, obviously they needed those skills and someone that can learn and adapt in Andela, he was able to demonstrate that, and that's how he became community manager at Technical Talent. And if you watch the YouTube video, he talks in more detail about how that conversation went and how he was able to prove his worth. Now, after working in Andela, he became country director of Safe Border. Now, like I said again, he talks about it in the video how, moving from Andela, never worked in tech, and moving to like a tech startup that was launching in Nigeria, um, that's massive. And that takes like a lot of, self-awareness. It takes a lot of, risk taking. It takes a lot of personal development. And it takes a lot of, demonstrating that you can handle the job. Now, a lot of people think that, oh, when, a job opening comes up and it doesn't fit what I'm doing, I shouldn't apply for it. If it fits where you're going, if it fits what you feel like your skills can do, if it fits like what you think that you can demonstrate and show them that, oh, I think I can do this. I've done this and I've done this in and out of work. I think you should be able to do it. And that's how he became country director of Safe Border. And from there, he got an offer for M Copper and he's now their general manager. Safe Border is about ride hailing and bikes. And M Copper is about they used to do solar home systems and now they're like doing like phones and assets for customers. And throughout all this, you can see themes in Babajide's career, but if he didn't have skills that translate and kept improving, like leadership skills, and we'll talk about those things and things that even outside work you start to demonstrate, there's no way that he would have ever thought he would have gone for MCOPA full time. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't really kind of get, because sometimes you talk to some people and they're like, oh, my career, I'm trying to like move into this role, I'm trying to move into that role. And if you remember, I said, understand your skills, understand the skills you've picked up, and understand the skills you still want to have. So my assumption is, Babajide has leadership skills, but he also wants to be able to, expand a company, across, multiple states in Nigeria. And then he's going for that. And he's going to show them that, I have all these skills and I'm already working on all the skills. I need a chance to be able to prove XYZ and deliver results. And that's one thing that a lot of young people don't really take into consideration as they are going in their career. And sorry, I'm going to pause a bit. I don't know if people have questions. I know the class is intense, and I know there's going to be a Q&A session as well. So I just wanted to quickly ask if anybody has any questions, if we're all good. Favor, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you loud and clear.
All right, perfect.
There's a
Perfect.
question from someone on Slido, and the person is asking, what trends can one switch to in DevOps?
Okay, so that's a good question. I think for DevOps, there are different things you can do. You can decide you want to move into, I don't know, security. You want to move into, you want to go back into like core engineering. You want to like do something around products. You want to do something around even projects. So it just depends on the opportunities around you and what you really need to know what you resonate with. Remember, there was a question I said, what aspects of my job do I really like? And what aspects of my job do I know, like is my least favorites? What do I find myself doing in my spare time? You see some people, they were even core engineer and they became writers. They have a newsletter, they like researching. So there's really a lot you can do. It just depends on, okay, your self-awareness. And now, obviously, which is we'll to talk about. Some people decide to get coaches. Some people decide to get mentors. Some people decide to get like pay for courses that help them really understand like where they're coming from and where they're going. But the most important thing is it has to be about you. It's not about what is out there. It's about what do you want and how can you get what you want. Do you get and I think that's how to kind of look at it. So I'll just like run through my own experience, and this is my own tech journey. So I started so in university I'd done some I don't know, like small projects. I ran then bulk SMS had come up, and I ran a small business in university. I, was helping like organizations and, then, communities and clubs send out SMSs. And so in doing that, I had to pay for internet. I had to talk to the customers. I had to talk to students to get me numbers. I had to like compose content to push out back then. This was like years ago. And that was my first major, oh, I'm running a business, and I got paid for it. And it was just with my laptop. Then we had like Starcoms devices that we used, and I just started becoming aware of, oh, okay, this is how things, can come together. And then it was time for my internship in school, because we had an internship, a compulsory internship in school. And so I started as an IT support intern. And fortunately for me, I was in charge of managing the C-level execs, their IT needs, and also like just like really, really top people in the company. And so I'd sometimes have to sit with them in meetings, and sometimes I'd have to like attend to like their own, specific IT needs. And then I began to understand like, how businesses work, how, just picking up on some things. And the reason why I'm saying this is a lot of people are not attentive or observant to their environment or what they can learn. I'm very fortunate that I learn a lot and I learn very fast. Um, so I did IT support intern, then I did my NYC as a power engineer in ExxonMobil. I think that was the point where I knew that I didn't want to do engineering things, because I tried it out. And then I came back to Lagos, because it was outside Lagos. And then I became a network engineer at a telecoms company. Um, in between doing my network engineering and my next step, I came for my master's, because, like I said, I'd done power engineering. I realized it wasn't really something I wanted to do, but I tried to, give value. I was really good at my job. Um, but I knew that long term I didn't want to do this. And then I tried to switch to something closer to electrical engineering that I studied. I also realized that I like it, but I didn't want to be the engineer like on the field and doing all those things. So I did a engineering management course. I came back to Nigeria, and I got a job as a project program manager. And I realized that I really, really like that. And I did that for 5 years. And I think I did another extra year go doing that. And that was when I realized that, okay, you know what, this seems more like, what my skills would be good for, and what I really enjoyed and what I really liked. And then in between, I started having some interest in startups. But then startups were just really starting in Nigeria. So I'd taken a break to do some consulting. I was trying to figure out my career as well. I started doing like startup advisory. I realized that most of the things that the startups were asking, I already knew, because I'd already worked in, different organizations. And then, I tried my hand on co-founding a startup. I started doing a lot of side projects. I started doing a lot of experiments. And we'll talk about why that's important. Now, because I started doing a lot of side projects and experiments, I started getting exposed to things like sales, business development. I started thinking about like customer support, like you name it, I was exposed to most of those things. And because of that, I could speak to the experience when it came up. I think the next opportunity that I wanted to try out, or that I was able to demonstrate that, okay, let's do it, was becoming a general manager of engineering. Now, because I'd done a lot of side projects, I'd built products, I'd worked with, I'd volunteered, I'd done this, most of the things that were required for the role, to like revamp an engineering team, to hire people, to ship out products, I kind of already knew it in an unstructured way. And so this was an opportunity to do it in a structured way, which I did very well. So we did that, and it was really good. It was a good experience. And then I wanted to try out more, consulting, because for me personally, I love learning. I love working with clients. I love doing multiple things and learning. And this is what suited me. And because I've done consulting a bit, the opportunity to become a country manager of a venture-backed company came up, and I thought, yeah, why not? And the skill sets that I had, so the role was manage portfolio companies, do business development, manage operations. So those things were already things that I was aligned with. It had some technical product rollouts because they were using analytics to kind of, predict scoring and all those things, which I could relate to and I could understand because obviously I was exposed to that. And that was, that went well. And then I started obviously deciding to invest in startups, and continue advising startups. Now, this is my own tech journey. From outside, it would look like, oh, I could figure it out and I knew what I was doing. I think the only thing that has worked is understanding that as you go higher, things will become more clearer. You have to understand yourself, your strengths, and you have to be prepared for opportunities. Because if I wasn't prepared for the opportunities, if I hadn't done things outside, my comfort zone, I don't think that I would have been able to even recognize that I could push myself further. And I think that's one important thing that a lot of people don't understand. Is just, oh, we see you out there, you got here, how did you get there? So I think we're going to do a quick exercise, and then I'm going to do a few more examples before we move into transitioning into tech. So what's one word that describes your current challenge with transitioning into tech? I don't know if you guys can please kindly answer so that I can even understand how to be helpful. I know we can see the questions. Is on the Slido link as well. Yes, thank you, Favor. So you can just, and this is just, it can be one word. I don't want to give you guys idea, but just what are the words that you feel like, what that captures like your challenge. It can be anything, to be honest, but if they say, this is the main thing, that is, because I realize that a lot of people might not have transition in tech. So this is one of the reasons why, I feel like I'm currently having challenges moving to tech. Like, this is one thing that I know that, keeps me up at night or is a burden. All right, people, cool. So I'll just give you like one more minute. I will take this tiny break. But I think we're getting to the top of the hour. Yes. All right, cool. We're going to look at the words now. Cool. the thing about human beings, I said one word and then I'm seeing different things. So we have lack of resources, opportunity. It can be exhausting. Getting a foot in, even with my past experience, showing my ability to function well in the role, product management, getting the right information, that's true. Learning a fast skill, that's true. Very opportunities outside Lagos, very, very, very true. Fear, yes, fear is big, like very, very big. It's challenging, it's uncertain, very true. Consistency, 100% with whoever wrote consistency. Sorry. Yeah, consistency, sorry about that. Information overload, very, very, very true. Now, the good news is I try to anticipate, what the challenge, and because I mentor a lot of people and I advise a lot of people, startups and operators, everything that's been said here is true. I can relate to it. Information overload is true. There's so many. So you see, someone has written lack of resources and someone has said information overload. And that means that one of the things I've seen is there's no way to curate like your own learning and journey. And I'll tell you how you can do that. How to be consistent, how to overcome fear, few opportunities outside Lagos. We're going to talk about that. Learning a fast skill, exhausting. You guys are spot on. Even the information I'm giving you today, I feel like it was an overload, and that's why the slides, I've tried to make the slides as resourceful as possible, so that even after this class, you can open it and just refresh yourself, or you can watch this video. But this is very true. Annoying is very, very true. Annoying because sometimes, tech people can be snobbish because they feel like it, or it's too basic, and you're just trying to get your foot into the door. So I truly, truly understand. Finding a role without any previous experience for those of us pivoting from North. Yes, we'll talk about that. And I think I've highlighted some things that you can start being conscious of and how to sell yourself. So I'm going to do one more thing. we're going to, let me see. Tech is crazy. All right, cool. I want to keep active. I want to show a few more examples just to encourage you guys before we now go to transitioning. So we have, and I like to be very practical when I'm taking classes. So we have a guy called Benjamin Dada. I think you guys can see my screen now. Benjamin is someone I know personally, and I followed his journey. Benjamin is currently the country manager for Stitch. Stitch is an API, a fintech, like an API infrastructure fintech company in South Africa. They just rolled out in Nigeria, and boom, Benjamin is their country manager. And from outside, it's ridiculous. I knew when Benjamin was in school, he was finishing his masters, and he was trying to like come into tech. And luckily for us, we have examples that show people's journey. So how did Benjamin get there? Let's look at it. Benjamin was doing risk management as an intern at KPMG. And he had spent 3 months there. He had it, and then he did another internship at Softcom for 5 months. Obviously, he wrote things like involved the deployment of over 6,000 mobile learning devices, assisted colleagues with Excel, involved this and mobile app. So you can have an idea of what he might have been exposed to. Even here, and this is important because one of the things we're gonna get to is making sure your online profile is up to date. Now, if you can see, he's talking about engage in contract compliance review. These are things that can resonate with your hiring manager or a recruiter, or even just tells us like what you might have been up to while you were there. A lot of people don't do this. And then you have success intern. So he worked at Andela for 3 months, worked very closely with director of success to ensure successful conversion from fellow. He wrote it there. Then he did an internship again in Stutten. So intern, and this is based on his LinkedIn profile. And then he did like 1 month work experience as a student, because I think during his master's, he worked at Sky. He came to the UK for his master's. And then the next thing is he's in Lancaster University Student Union. As we can see, he's detailing like everything that he feels is relevant to his journey, just so that you can have a picture of what Benjamin has been up to, what skills he might have, what he has led, how he has improved himself. And then obviously he did an internship in Google. He supported the EM. What exactly, I know a lot of people say show results and say, oh, I grew this from this and I grew this from that. But if you didn't have that opportunity, you can actually say what you feel is relevant to where you're going. You get. And it's not just to write it on LinkedIn, it's also to be aware of it so that when the opportunity comes, you can also kind of like talk about, oh, yes, I did this before. I worked on a small business and we needed to get like 50, samples of something. And because of that, I was creative. I went to, the computer village and we got the samples and those are things that as a professional, you can transfer and translate those skills into something else. And so obviously he worked as an intern, so he's now getting into tech. He worked at Google. He had, some freelance. He was writing journalist tech and startups. You can see he's now interested in startups. You can actually see where the thing starts, to shape out. And then product manager, partnerships, Eyowo. Eyowo is a fintech mobile app. He worked on that. And then he became solutions architect there. And then he became a business manager. So you can see business manager. Now he's going from something very core like products, here is startups. And then he starts this thing on the side and hosting like big tech shows, talking about tech, talking about, different, tech stuff, startups, because he has a passion for it. And then he starts doing content marketing lead. He does like a startup. He's the founder of a startup called Benjamin Dada. And that's where he started, writing about tech and stuff. Now, when I heard that he was country manager of Stitch, because I know him personally and his skill sets and all what he has done like this, it's very easy for me to relate it as a senior person to see why Stitch will hire me as a country manager. He has founded a company, a startup. He has worked on content. He loves startups. He has built a fintech product. So those are things that at the end of the day would converge into giving you opportunities. And this is like really a typical roadmap. Let me give you another popular one. So we have Odun. Odun is the chief. She's the co-founder and CEO of PiggyVest. A lot of people in Nigeria know PiggyVest. And let's go to her LinkedIn. Now, the reason why I'm using her LinkedIn and not her coming to talk is just so that at least you can have an idea. Although intern in total, she did an industrial training. And then what did she do next? She became a writer. She was writing for TechAbal. TechAbal is a platform that talks about tech news and startups. And what did she do after that? She did content and social media. And then she became an editor in Tech Point, for 7 months. She worked at the Coco magazine as a writer. And then boom, she did some product school, I'm sure training, and she featured as a speaker. And then she co-founded her first startup with friends. Now, in this place, she says general operations role across the following area: marketing, sales, product, ticket. And then these are recent, and then she became a co-founder of PiggyVest. Now, this is one part that people would not understand. Like, how do you get from a writer to being a co-founder of one of the most successful startups in Nigeria? That's her own path. She figured it out, luckily. Maybe she has a coach, maybe she doesn't. But the most important thing is the skills that she was picking up, whether as a content person, whether organizing, whether she did it on the side or there. Like, at the end of the day, she's currently here, and there's no right or wrong roadmap. This is her own roadmap, and it just shows you that you have permission to be whatever you want to be. It's hard work, but it's not impossible. I think I'll do one more, something more linear. So this is Farah. Farah is the CEO and CTO of Okra. She's also a co-founder, and Okra is a fintech platform as well. They're doing really well, and let's see how she started. So she started as an intern, Norton Networks. The reason why I'm really stressing this is some people, you tell them switch to tech and do an internship, and they're like, but I already have 5 years experience in something else. And you're wondering, how can I still go back and do an internship, and what can it like do for me? And we'll talk about that. Sometimes you may need to, because you're going into a new sector or a new like career path, you may need to, starting as an intern or starting as customer support does not mean that you just need to be aware of how those things work. And that might be the only opportunity that is available. So instead of waiting, you might just take that opportunity and move up. But anyway, these ones, they started as, she did an internship, she did like web design internship, she became a communications intern, she became an analyst, a developer analyst, she became a UX developer, she became a software engineer, another software engineering role, and then, senior engineering. So this is more a little bit more linear. She co-founded a startup in the past, and then she went back to work, and that's another thing people don't know. Like, you can try something and go back to work. Nobody says because you try something, you must always be doing business. So she co-founded and was the CTO. Then she went back to work. She was a software engineer here. She was a senior software engineer here. She was and then she just did a couple of things. She did some engineering consultant for Canva. And now she's co-founder and CEO of a startup, a CTO. And it's actually a really great startup. It's Okra. They've raised, I can't remember the last count, but they've raised over $1 million. Now, the investors and the people that would have given her money would have heard about her journey, would understand the skill set she brings to the table, and then, she gets supported. So I think the most important thing is just understanding that your roadmap is mainly about you, the opportunities you get, and how prepared you are for those opportunities. So I think we're going to go into, we're going to run, sorry. We're going to run through the last part of the class, which is just switching to tech and transitioning. And so a lot of people have asked questions around transitioning into tech in Africa. It's hard. What do I do? I think for me, I try to do a small framework for the class today. And it's just largely around, I think the first thing is explore your interest. You can start with your initial curiosity. If you think data is where you want to start with that. If you think developer, software engineering is what you want to start with that. If you feel product management is what you want to start with that. If you feel accounting is what you want to start with that. Now, the second thing is a lot of people go online and they try to have everything at once. There's so many resources out there. You can literally just really, really tune off. So how about you take an intro course or a crash course? Say, I'm interested in being a developer. Let me take introduction to software engineering, or let me take a crash course. Do that first and just focus on that. On the side, you can be knowing that, okay, there's something like this or that, but just focus and take an intro course or a crash course. Just one major course that you want to take. And it's always good to do intros, because if you do an introductory course, it's almost like the high level of everything, but it's telling you how everything connects. Now, in your own journey, you can do like 2 or 3 intro courses. You can do introduction to product management, introduction to software engineering, introduction to data analytics. That can be what taking an intro course might be for you. But the time you used to take that is the time you also see if this thing resonates with you, if what they're saying makes sense, and if it's something that you want to try out. If you do intro to data science and you feel like, nah, I'm disconnected, you can try something else and just do that intro course. Don't do data science. I say because I did a data science course, I have to be a data science, or because people are earning money from being data scientists, I have to do that. That's when it becomes really difficult, because you're not suited for that. You don't have the motivation, or your skill sets are not aligned to that. Even your interests are not aligned to that. So why would you want to do that? And then when you do an intro course and you feel like you resonate with it, try out a side project or volunteer for one. Look for friends that are working, on something, and just say, you know what, you guys, I can help you do this, or volunteer for one. Most times, even on social media, say, oh, we're looking for this. People be like, volunteering for one does not mean your value is tied to $0 or zero naira. It just means that you yourself, you know that because you want to try this out in real life and because you want to learn, you're going to volunteer for it, or you're going to do a side project. Or if you can't get a side project or volunteer for one, join a community. Joining a community is super, super important, because there are questions that you have, but there are also questions that you don't even know. And joining a community helps you, exposes you to questions that other people are having, learnings that other people are having, and it just helps you, like keeps you accountable, accelerates your learning. If possible, get a mentor or shadow someone senior. When I was much younger, I used to shadow people online. So I'll follow them on Twitter, I'll follow them on LinkedIn, just see how they're navigating. You don't necessarily need to have a mentor online, offline, and say, oh, Yewande, please, I want you to mentor me. You can follow me on social media. I share resources. I follow Jack Dorsey. Everybody knows I love Jack Dorsey. I follow him. I see when he's going on a retreat, when he's making decisions. I read news about him. I follow Tayo of Paga. I followed his journey when so those are things that subconsciously I'm also trying to understand that, okay, if I like Tayo of Paga, he went to Stanford, he founded Paga, he's learning, and I start to understand that this is the kind of person that I think I want to be, or this kind of person I'm interested in. It also helps you. It's not until I talk to Tayo every day or WhatsApp him or ask him a question before I can learn from him. And then, like I said, identify your transferable skills, because no one is going to come and understand what you've been up to except you tell them. No one is going to know I did startup plug except I say it. Nobody is going to know that, oh, we actually build a website for it except I tell them. So you need to identify, what you've done, the skills you've also kind of picked up, the challenges you had, and be able to sell yourself, because at the end of the day, you're selling yourself. You're building yourself to sell yourself so that someone can connect to it and give you an opportunity to kind of like now implement, ideas and learn. And then obviously build on your knowledge. So now you're a designer, you did some portfolio, you think you've arrived. No, you need to keep improving and building, and then start applying for jobs and opportunities. And the thing is, you might apply for jobs for 3 months and may not get it. And then before you know it, after 2 months, you just have different opportunities. People are also watching you. People are also trying to say, okay, you said you want this opportunity. I don't think you're ready. And they want to see what you've done in the next 3 months. Do you get? They want to see what you've done in the next 6 months. They want to see if you've grown, what you've done. I know it's hard, like financially and a couple of things, but the thing is, and if you see here, I wrote freelance gigs. So, oh, I'm trying to do a website. Who can help? Offer to do it. Okay, I think I've learned this. I think I can, help with the websites. Or if they're project based work, some people even do work in church or mosque just to be able to like say, okay, the mosque is trying to have a new website. I'll volunteer to do it. Some people do support roles. Like, oh, I want to be a developer, but I saw a product support role. I just want to start it. I want to try. Some people do internship and you keep learning because at the end of the day, you're the owner of your own journey. Try not to overwhelm yourself with so much information. Just start from somewhere. Like, it's not about doing 5 courses at the same time. It's about saying, okay, this is what resonates with me. Let me start with this. Does it make sense? I build on it. I even try my hand. Now, these days, most skills, you can almost have a side project or an opportunity to test, whether it's accounting, whether it's design, but you can, even the online courses give you like examples and they give you like take homes to do it, publish it. And I will talk about that next. There's this concept I wanted to borrow, and it's called ikigai, and it's a concept for saying a reason for being. The concept talks about, the reason for being is an intersection between what you're good at, what the world needs, what you love, and what you can be paid for. For this class, what I want you to focus on is you're trying to move from um, um, you're trying to move from here. Pardon my. You're trying to move from here to here. So, what do you love? What are you good at? To what you can be paid for and what the world needs. Now, if you are lucky and what you love and what you're good at, you can find that they can pay you for it, then that's like really, really like where you want to be. I love talking. I'm good at convincing customers. I can be paid for customer success, or I can pay for sales. The world needs more salespeople to sell stuff. Bam. I'm good at social media. I do it for myself. I have my page, my beauty page. I sell makeup, but I've been able to grow my following. I know how to do all those TikTok videos. Oh, I saw there's a content marketer role. The world needs more content marketing because that's how, sales online is going. Bam, G-gets. So that's how you look at it. You don't do things that you feel like, oh, I'm just doing it, and you can't figure out how you can get paid for it. G-gets. You don't do courses that you're not really aligned to. So some people will do cloud specialists because you're hearing that there's like, but if you're not wired to do like sit down and do a lot of technical stuff, why would you want to be a cloud specialist? Like, why would you suffer yourself through that just because you feel? Why don't you just figure out, okay, I'm interested in this cloud space. I need to shadow someone that works there. I follow them on LinkedIn. I ask them questions. Oh, I realize that there's something called, products. And then you don't really need to be the core of it. You just need to understand it. And I feel like, yes, that makes me happy. I can research about it. I can design the flow. A regular customer, if it's a business customer or a consumer, I understand from their end. I want to be able to do that. I feel like that's a better approach, you get. And then you love it and then you're good at it, because it's easy for you to know if somebody loves something and if they're good as a senior person, as a hiring person, because it just shows based on what they've done so far. Because if you love something, you'll be compelled to show, like, work towards it, show stuff around. And in fact, you'll be knowledgeable about it. So for example, there's almost nothing basic that you can ask me about us now that I don't know, because I love it. You can ask me what's the goalkeeper, I'll tell you. We can ask me what formation did they use. I can tell you because obviously I love it. And then if I can find a way to use that and get paid for it, of course, that makes more sense in tech. And I think that's how a lot of people can look at it. Um, I think, yep, is my screen frozen? Yeah. Okay. So I think before talking about roles in tech, I wanted to ask the class, what roles have you guys come across that you found very interesting? And don't worry, we're almost done. Um, so I answer like more generic questions, but I just wanted to know like what's the most interesting role you've seen so far in tech that you feel like, oh, this is very interesting, or oh, I didn't know about that role. I don't know if you guys let me see if on Slido you can just click on it and yeah, cool. Join Slido and you can answer. Okay, someone says cybersecurity, yes. Yes, my certification is as a microbiologist. Okay, we'll talk about that. So I'm going to give enough time for like generic questions. Please send me the YouTube link. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, damn. Cool. Yes. So I think some people have answered. Let me just start answering because of time. So yes, growth product manager, product management, technical writing, front-end development, product design, spot on. Um, I think growth product manager is something that over the years, or over like the recent years has just come like to become a specialization on its own. Information architects, yes, you know, and these are roles that you may not necessarily know. But I think if you're trying to transition into tech, if you're trying to advance in tech, as much as people don't really rate, yeah, chief evangelism officer, as much as people don't really rate LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn is one of your best friends. You know, there's a lot of research you can do on LinkedIn. Follow people. Like you don't even need to get connected to them. Look at their roles, look at what they do, check out their companies. You know, you see somebody saying UX research and they're working in a company, go to the company and see what that company does. You can even DM sometimes and say, oh, I see that you're a UX researcher. Please, if you have 5 minutes of your time to talk about your role with me, I really appreciate it. What's the worst? They don't answer you. Do you get, oh, hi, you know, I saw that your customer success, you know, I don't know if you have 5 minutes of your time to just tell me about your role. I'm thinking of transitioning, you know, DM them. That's also a way to get conversation or just ask them a direct question. Now, another thing is when you see LinkedIn is your friend and job descriptions. When you see job descriptions, so job descriptions are usually a wish list of what that role needs. And then what I used to do personally is I look at the job description, look at the things that I know, and look at things that I don't know, and think about it. Okay, do I want to be able to do XYZ, and then start understanding and researching how I can like get like intro courses to those things and know that, oh, okay, this is what this means. Oh, okay, this is what it means. So for example, if we take UX research, if I see someone is doing UX research, one of the things I might do is UX research job description and go through the job description and say, okay, which ones are aligned to my soft skills? Okay, I need to do this, I need to do this. And I go and search, okay, can I get an intro course or can I read an article about UX research? You know, and that's one way that you can familiarize yourself. So for example, site reliability engineer. I may not know what site reliability engineer might be. I can Google it. I can go on LinkedIn and look for people that have done site reliability engineering. I can look at that. Okay, this guy says he's a site reliability engineer. What did he do before this? And how did he start his career? Oh, okay, he was an intern or he was an accountant. And then, you know, it will also give you like a perspective of how you can get into that role and if that role is even for you. So I think it's just being creative in owning your own journey, using the tools you have, and just being smart about understanding where you want to go. So most times people say tech, and then what comes to mind is developer or engineer or like cybersecurity. Well, they're like and some roles switch between left and right, but the right side of my screen. Well, you have, and I'll put some in technical roles. So you have UX designers, UI designers, you have web developers, mobile apps, software, things that are almost like specializations and more like software engineering inclined, like developer relations. You obviously have to have some experience in that or get some experience in that. But there are some roles that are non-technical roles. I mean, data analysis can be technical or non-technical, it depends. But things that you can use your experience in other sectors or other companies and bring it into tech. Now, when people tell me they are trying to move to tech, are you trying to be a developer? Are you trying to, just work in tech and know more about tech? Because in all the tech companies, they have finance, people that manage their finance. They have people that manage their HR. They have product managers or project managers. They have quality management people. They have business. You understand? So they have business development. They have sales. Like 50% of the roles that you see in other companies are in tech companies. They have people that manage people and operations. So you have to ask yourself, where do you want to start from? Do I want to start from a technical role, or do I want to start from a non-technical role? How can I now apply my non-technical role in a technical setting? That's now a different ball game about, okay, learning about the product, learning about tech, doing introductory courses, just so that you can even speak to it. So for example, if I saw a role at Zoom, that's the company we're using, and I feel like, oh, operations analyst, operations associate, the wisest thing for me would be to go and try out Zoom and also show them that, oh, yes, we use Zoom in Nigeria. I use it for my classes. This is what I've done. And then also talk about my operations experience. Do you get? And try and match it and make sure that the person that I'm talking to or the people that I'm selling to understand that, okay, she has never done operations in a tech company, but she understands the product. She understands who our clients are. She understands the kind of things that we might be dealing with. Let's see if she's a good fit. Do you get? That's how you should look at it. Not, oh, because Zoom is a tech company, that means, and I don't have tech experience, that means I can't apply, or that means I'm useless. That's not how it works. It works more like, okay, you need to sell yourself, you need to demonstrate, you need to show that you have skills, you need to show that you can learn, and you need to improve yourself. Now, if Zoom says no, you don't have experience, blah blah blah, I can say, oh, that's true. My friend Diola said she's building I don't know, ed tech platform. Let me ask her if she needs any help with operations. Let me even start helping her on the side. Let me start doing stuff so that next time I want to reapply to Zoom, I can say, oh, yes, in a tech startup, I know this because my friend, she raised her pre-seed and she had people and we had to do this and we had to do this. And even in that capacity, this is what I did. And then that's a better story. You get, because you've now shown that, okay, you have more experience, you're aware of it, and you can learn and you can apply yourself. So that's how to go about it. People have asked about differentiating yourself and getting noticed. There's no how you'd be noticed if you don't have like great work ethic. You have to be very, very proactive in your own learning, proactive at work. You have ownership, mindset, because you know where you're going. It doesn't matter if you're paid a lot or paid a little, just imagine that, okay, I'm the one that owns this product, or I'm the one that owns this, thing. How will I run it? Document your wins is very, very important. A lot of people don't document your wins. If you do something great today, write it down, because your manager is not remembering, your CEO is not remembering. You need to remember so that you can speak to it as you want to, like, talk about, okay, why you need this promotion or why you want to move to this role. There's something that people don't do. You need to dress and act like a level higher. So if I'm thinking of becoming a manager in 2 years, I need to start acting like a manager and dressing like a manager, because that's the only way they can see you. They can relate and say, oh, this person is already showing leadership skills and she's already thinking ahead. She's already thinking about, oh, we should hire more people. Oh, we should do this. She's putting in the extra work. And be visible and show up. And the reason why I brought it is because differentiating yourself, you have to differentiate yourself internally and externally, because your company culture might be good or it may not be good, but that does not mean you don't differentiate yourself externally. So as you're learning, you see, I don't know if you've noticed this thing in tech. If someone is learning about bottled water, for example, they say, oh, how I learned about bottle, and they write a small article about it. Designer, you might feel ashamed, but you want to be able to put it out there, and when people search your name, it comes up, or when people discover it and say, oh, you know what? this person wrote about their learning front end, and this is what they learned and helped somebody else. And this is how they discovered you, you know. So you need to share your work and learn online, especially if you're a designer, you're a developer, you're a product manager. If you learn about cloud, learn 5 top things I learned or 5 top things that helped me. To get share your work, update your online profile. You go some people's online profile, you're trying to switch into tech. I don't know what you've been doing recently. I can't see anything. Do you get? So how am I supposed to know that you're trying to do in tech? If you're learning the course, put it there and put in view, or put it that you're learning. Volunteer at events, go for events, ask questions, like plenty questions. If you go to a Twitter space, raise up your hand, clubhouse, ask questions, because that's how people see you, and ask smart questions. Do you get? Don't be shy. Like volunteer for events, speak at events, help people, wear their t-shirts, you know, just be very, very visible, because nobody would really come to your house to know that, oh, you know, Yewande is really trying and she's learning. No, like put yourself out there. Like this kind of course. After the course, ask questions. Yewande will notice, fellow will notice, even your fellow colleagues will notice that, oh, okay, this person was in class and this person, you get things like that. Little things like that actually really, really matters. And then accelerating your journey in tech. So many things you can do. Like I said, most important thing, or maybe one of the not most important, one of the most important things you can do is join communities. It will help you learn. It will help you see other people like you moving forward. It will help you have a network of people that you can reach out to. I'll put a link. There's an article by Benjamin Dada that talks about communities in Nigeria, just to give you guys an idea. Attend events. Like I said, volunteer. Volunteering is very important. The things you do as a volunteer and things you do outside work really, really matter. Network, offline and online, follow people, you know, offline, walk up to people. If possible, do side projects and experiments if you can afford to. I know that not everybody has time, but if you can, just do it. Subscribe to blogs. So when I decided to start doing like more startup things, one of my colleagues at work, he was like, oh, Yewande, I think you should subscribe to Tech About. You know, it's really good. They curate news and stuff. And I wouldn't lie to you, then half of what I knew then was from Tech About. Oh, you know, this product I launched, what does the product do? I'll go and research. Oh, this person is now the CEO. Let me go and look at their career journey. Oh, this person has moved to Kenya. Oh, there's now this in Kenya. Oh, Uber has reduced their fees. And you just become more knowledgeable. So that when you have conversations, you self, you are following and you know what's happening. So you can do Tech Points, Benjamin Dada, TechCrunch, all these articles. You need to make out time. So kind of like just, even if you skim through, before you know it, you start knowing stuff. There are people that write Medium articles, they're Substack. If you like someone in the tech ecosystem and they write Medium articles, it only makes sense for you to subscribe to the article so that when it comes, you read it, and you know what they're up to. Their podcasts, their videos, how I built this, Masters of Scale, their YouTube videos. Now there's Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse. So you see, for example, tomorrow I'm doing a Twitter Space around, and I'm moderating and hosting an Uber recruiter who wants to talk about transitioning to tech and the challenges that you have. And obviously she will be coming from a point of international recruitment, because a lot of people are recruiting like globally now. Join the Twitter space, learn for yourself here, so that even when you're going back to a recruiter, you already understand what they're looking for and what they're trying to do. And like I said, get a coach or mentor if possible. All these things I've said, will not matter if you're not developing yourself. That's just the truth, because the substance that you have in yourself, some people feel like if I do a course in 6 months, by 6 months, I'll just get a job, or I'll just be like, boom, everything will just work out. That's not how it works. You have to continually like developing yourself. Sometimes you may be at your current job and develop yourself and be applying for roles, and then you get to switch when everything works out well. But don't give up. If possible, do at least one course a year. Now, some people do courses that, like I said, don't resonate with them or don't know. You're just wasting your time. And then if you can, do courses from good platforms like Udacity or Coursera. You see Coursera, so I've got 2 courses from, and I'm even doing a course now to refresh or to kind of like just make me relevant. If you can, on Coursera, you see schools, like you can see like Wharton University of Pennsylvania, they can have a course, for me personally, I'd rather do courses that make me stand out and also from good schools so that when I put it on my resume, it shows that, oh, okay, this person did a course from this lecturer or this school, and it makes me already. I mean, that's why you see some people they didn't go to Harvard, but they did courses from Harvard because it just shows that you're ambitious and you have a standard. So try also to do that. There are many free courses. You can audit a course on Coursera without paying. You can apply for a scholarship on Coursera and Udacity without paying. You just have to write why you need that. Do product school if you're technical. Do free code camp. Sorry, yeah, and Code Academy. You're trying to be like a developer, and just the courses don't even have to be about your job. It can be, selling, it can be presentation, it can be understanding customers so that you don't feel like you're overwhelmed. Sometimes it might be towards your soft skills. So just make sure that you're just, keep improving yourself. And I think a couple of people had asked like, okay, while working with startups, how do you go your career? So the good thing about startups is it's a small team most times. You work closely with decision makers so you can learn quicker. You have the opportunity to learn and lead multiple things. It will expose you a lot because imagine if you're a startup of four, the two co-founders and you and someone a technical person, and you have to do many things. Like you have to handle social media. You have to do. It can be stressful, but sometimes it allows you like have autonomy. Sometimes it's flexible. You create a company culture, you learn leadership skills fast. And I think that's why some people are suited for startups. Some people aren't suited for startups, and that's okay. You can work in a regular company, you can apply it to like Google or bigger startups like Flutterwave or Paystack, or you can just start with somebody that just started 6 months ago. It depends on you and where you are in your life. But the pros are it will accelerate your growth a lot. Like startups are growth engines. Like there's no how you work in a startup that won't accelerate your growth. But like I said, it's high pressure, it can be chaotic, it's most times unstructured, and the most times management issues because the founders themselves are just learning. They're young people like you and they're just figuring it out. So there will be a lot of mistakes that they make. There will be a lot of, some of them have never managed people before. So, the culture might not be good. It might be toxic. And I'm not saying you should stay there. I'm just saying, the ones that are good, and you feel like, it may not pay so well, you can start with that as they grow, or you can just look for a regular company. And then growing your career is you're still going to do all the things that like I already highlighted also help. You're still going to have to do all those things. It's just that it will really, really help you grow fast because you'll be the decision makers. You even get to make decisions yourself. In fact, most startups, you own your journey and you just, if you're early in a startup, you can even be like the unit head in the next 2 to 3 years because it will grow so fast that you have to wear multiple hats and go so fast. So that's the advantages of startups. And I think I've come to the questions part. I feel like I've been talking forever. I'm so sorry, guys. But yes, I would, the presentation, sorry, is a lot. I just felt like, it's something that can be shared and can be used. A couple of people have asked questions. I don't know if I should wait so a couple of people had asked questions before the class. And I think I'll wait and hear from live questions first. And then we can decide if we have time to take questions that people submitted before the class. I think I'll just wait.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Yewande. That was a very, very fantastic session. Guys, you can just quickly thank Yewande in the chat box or use the reactions to clap. And while you're there doing that, I will share my screen to show some questions that are already people inputted on Slido. So guys, if you have questions, you can ask them live now on Slido. There's like 2 questions here already. And yes, so we also have a YouTube audience joining in, so they will be asking questions as well. So guys, if you have questions, just put it up on Slido, and yes, Yewande,
okay,
you could take it up from here for questions.
Okay, so I think the first question is, what is the most vital skill in tech, and any idea of how to start a tech company? Whoa, 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 whoa. What's the most vital skill in tech? As cliche as it may be, is the ability to learn. Like if you can learn anything and you can be disciplined, like I think that's one thing in my own experience that stands out. Like you see people that are in their 30s saying, oh, I learned how to be a front-end developer and now I'm a front-end developer and I changed my career. You also see people that say, oh, I've been a designer all my life and I'm now a product manager. So to be able to learn and adapt is one big thing. And you can learn how to learn. That's what a lot of people don't know. Like you can learn how to learn. You can struggle with different learnings, and now there's video, there's joining a class like this. So you obviously have to figure out what works for you. But as you learn how to learn, you would also grow, and you would also be able to like dominate anything. You have to learn. It's like I tell like people that I'm close to, I said the brain is like a computer, and whatever software you upload to that computer makes it more strong. Like you can do applications on it. So if you don't learn, how would your computer like really really produce like great stuff? So you have to install the software, you have to learn, and if you can learn, that's very important. How to start a startup is a different masterclass on its own.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where to start. So I'm just going to skip that now. But I think the biggest thing is just start with figuring out what the idea looks like. Talk to your potential customers. I normally advise people to there's a business model canvas. And don't worry, I'll talk to Favor. Maybe we'll do that later. There's a business model canvas template. Try to answer the questions in that template. If you can answer the questions in that template, and it's a living document, so you keep updating it. But the first step is to come up with your idea, and that is on the basis of you found a problem. So if you don't have a problem and you just come with an idea, that's a problem. So figure out a problem you want to solve, come up with how you think you want to solve it. Before you even do anything, talk to potential customers and say, okay, you know what? I'm trying to think about this. I know that you may be going through this. What do you think? And then you can just start from there and then start building. I think that's the most generic answer I can give. How do you reach out to startup CEOs, product leaders to volunteer to work in their company if you don't have experience in the role? Very, 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 very easy. It's either you do like, hi Yewande, I've just finished an university nano degree in product management. I did X, Y, and Z. This is what I was able to do. If you're looking for a PM, I'm happy to volunteer, period. Or, oh, hi Yewande, I don't know if you're looking for a volunteer PM. I lead product management on the side for XYZ, but in my day job, I am XYZ, period. If you notice the two examples I've given you, I've led with the things I've done and how I can add value. So don't just say, oh, hi, one day, please, I want to volunteer as a PM. Why? Like, why, how, like, it would be a waste of anybody's time. Like, what have you done lately that allows me to understand that you're going to be valuable and you're serious about what you're doing? Oh, hi, Zoom. I've just taken, four master classes for the last month, and I'm thinking of, extending to customer support in your company. Please let me know if, there are any volunteer positions. I'm interested. Oh, hi, I just finished my design internship, or I just finished my design course on this. Here's my portfolio. I'm happy to volunteer. And if not, please recommend me to. You have to lead with like the value that you have, not just, oh, hi, one day I want to volunteer, call me. Like, CEOs don't. Yeah. When are you hosting Twitter Spaces you talked about earlier? I think it's tomorrow at 6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Nigeria time. I can check on my phone, but I think it's 7 p.m. Nigeria time. I'll check.
So one thing I can also do is I will drop you on this Twitter.
Please, yes, follow me on Twitter. Yes, please follow me on Twitter. And then yes, it will come
I've
up.
just dropped it. You
Yeah,
can follow
and I'll retweet it. Yes, and I'll retweet it. Yeah, I'm in a country where the tech scene isn't vibrant as it is in Nigeria. And thank you for that. It's hard knowing the startups to even reach out to volunteer. How do I go about it? I would have loved to know the country, but I think one thing that you can do is, if you're in Africa, um, I promise you, if you subscribe to Tech About, Tech Points, Disrupt, those are those people I said, if you do every day, you will learn about new startups, and then you can learn about their CEOs. You can research and you can message them on LinkedIn, message them on DM, or just send them an email, or even find out. The good thing about LinkedIn is, if I'm your friend and I know the CEO of something, you can say, "Oh, hi, one day. Hope you're good. I'm trying to reach the CEO of Brass. I don't know if you can help, put in a word, or what do you advise?" And then I can quickly reply and say, "Okay, you know what, do this and do that." Do you get? Or, "Oh, favor, I see that you're connected to this designer. Please, can you help me find out if their design internship in any of," do you understand? So use those. Like, the most important thing about messaging and DMing people is don't waste their time. Go straight to the point. Don't write, "Hey, this class, please don't message anybody and write hi or hello or good afternoon." I promise you that it's not going to come off well, right? "Hi, my name is Yewande Odumosu, and I'm trying to do X." Like, go straight to the point, because that's milliseconds they're going to use to read your message. It's better you go straight to the point and they answer you than for you to write hi. Because you just expect me to say hi, then I write hello, then I'll now wait for you. Like, the attention span of people is very, very short. So you want to be able to, like, show the value you're going to give and capture their, like, and the worst case is they'll say no. Do you get? Yep. So in
Yeah.
a country where if you can tell me where the country is, I can give you more specific. But if you subscribe to those newsletters, you would definitely see startups every day. Yeah. Somebody asked a question in the chat. I started my transition journey into product management March last year, and I constantly had to review my approach from time to time by taking courses. True. Applying for junior paid intern roles and mostly reading books. I've opted for applying for other roles in companies I want to work for, just so I can perfect. Sometimes there's a tendency to feel, since it's taking time, is not for me. How can one deal with it? I think you're on the right path. I think that, sometimes you can even apply for like a customer success role or something that's still not far away, and you feel like the roles would expose you into the company, and you'll be able to see how their own product management roles are, and even what you need to do to be able to fit into. But that doesn't mean you will stop learning, or you will not stop building like stuff on the side or volunteering. I think you should try to volunteer. I think you should join communities. And I think that you're on the right path. Like, people think that it's automatic. It's not automatic. And luckily for us in the world, more people are looking for skilled people. So there will come a time where, and we're working on it. So a couple of startups are looking at how do you train the next set of people and get them ready. So for example, Treford is kind of like training people in product management. They're working on hopefully getting people, internships soon. People reach out to Treford and say, "Oh, we're trying to look for product managers. Can you help?" I've personally reached out to them for, something. So just keep improving yourself and prepare for the opportunity. The most important thing is to prepare for the opportunity, so that when the opportunity comes, you're more than ready than for the opportunity to be there and you're not ready. So I think that's one. So you're on the right path. Just be patient and just keep learning. I think that's one advice. Okay. One of the key issues with getting a job is that companies hire people with experience, but you actually need a job to gain. I agree. Honestly, I am 100% with you. People go for experience, but there are people that still try to, help. Like I said, you see some people that have 5 years experience somewhere else, and they go do an internship and they just get it. And then before that, they get back to where they need to get. So I think the most important thing is to, while you're waiting, what are you doing while you're waiting? Like, if I apply somewhere and I realize that they did not take me and I'm still waiting, or I'm applying. So the most important is, what am I doing while I'm waiting? Because guess what? 6 months will still come, 1 year will still come. And then what can I do while I'm waiting for an opportunity that will give me a chance? Like, what can I build? And that's why I said community, volunteer, side project, internship. Like, just be very, very creative about your journey, and it will work out for you. And that's why I showed you things like Benjamin. Like, now Benjamin is country manager, but see how many internships he was doing. Obviously, he was younger and he was in school, but even up to now, older people do that, and then you realize that, okay, it's not like this person is better than me. It's just that the way the person's journey and all the things that he did and he worked hard to align for it finally clicked for him. And that's how I think you should look at it. As a banker that works in a branch which involves bland roles, unlike a bank HQ, how does one tailor the skills task done on the job to fit the tech dev role? Tech dev role. So if you are in the bank and you're a banker and you're not a developer and it's bland, so I'll give two scenarios. So if you're a banker or if you work in a bank and you're a developer and you feel like what I'm doing does not really, it's not as exciting, or I can't tailor it, I can't even say I'm a developer. I the only major advice I can give you is find something else to build on the side and learn and build it so you can show people. It doesn't have to be like, the good thing about developers, it doesn't have to be a full company. It can just be a small product and say, oh, I learned this, I was doing this course, I learned this, and I built this. Even when you do all these courses, they'll say build a calculator. If you notice all these new learn how to code, they give you examples or tasks that you can use to show. They say build a calculator, build a website, build a landing page. So whatever you're learning that you want to display, show it. Now join a community will help you learn faster, and you also see opportunities. I know it sounds very easy, but to be honest, that's like one major way you can do it. Now if you're a banker and you're trying to go into like a developer role, then that's a different ball game. You need to create the time to actually like learn and do your course. You may need to risk going to work in a startup or doing an internship with a big company just so that you can move. And there's this saying I see, I like Instagram a lot because Instagram is about quotes. And then there's this saying that says something around, most people don't want to be seen starting. Most people don't want to be seen, oh, I'm starting from scratch. Oh, I'm learning product manager. Don't be those people. If you know that this is what I really want, take the risk and do what you need to do. I mean, save money and have, backup, but you need to take a risk and take the plunge, and hopefully everything works out for you. Is it okay to approach people you don't know for mentorship opportunities for the role you're looking to switch to? I think, like I said, if someone is going to mentor you, I think the first thing is to know, why would someone want to mentor you one day? Like, how do I? So there are three things that can happen. The person may not have time. The person may not know you, or the person may be curious. But I feel like if someone is going to mentor you, it's better for you to lead with the value and say, oh, I've done this and I've done this. I'm looking for a mentor. If you have time, I'd like you to mentor me. Or I've been following you for people are humans, and people like when you know things about them. Well, I've been following you for a couple of years. I see that you do this and this and this. I don't know if I can add value to this. And I'm also looking for a mentor. Do you get? That's very good. So just don't, even if you don't know them, if you follow them online or offline, or you know about them. So for example, imagine if I go and meet Dangote and I say, oh, Dangote, I want you to mentor me. Like, it's going to be very tough. It's almost going to be a miracle for Dangote to say, yes, I'll mentor you, Jigge. But if I feel like there's something unique that I can present to him, and in exchange, he can create some time, because mentors also create time to help in your journey. If there's something compelling enough for him to create time to say, okay, you know what, Yewande, I can't mentor you, but you can shadow me for a day, but he needs to be able to see what that compelling thing is for him to create that time. And I think that's how you should look at it. So approaching people you don't know for mentorship is tricky, but if you can show value and if you can show that it's not going to be a waste of their time, and you can also tell them how mentoring you like is part of their purpose, or it connects to them, or you guys are aligned, then it might be an easier sell. I think that's how you should look at it. Cool. Okay, cool.
All right. I think we're done with questions on that end.
Yes. I think the questions that I had for the class, let me share it. Sorry, let me just share it. I think I'll just take two. Or I don't know. Do you want people to ask questions live, or is that fine?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to people who are interested in asking questions that can come on with their video or with their
yeah. So
audio as
if
well.
anybody, if or even if it's audio, if anybody has questions that they feel like they want to ask, while I'm just gonna share my screen for last time. So I have this question. So these are questions that people had asked. Someone had asked about imposter syndrome. I think imposter syndrome is like part of another wider topic, but if you are suffering from imposter syndrome, it just either means that you are trying to fill bigger shoes and you have to give yourself some time to learn. You have to remind yourself, you have to document your wins, and hopefully you have a great manager that keeps reminding you, helps you understand your growth. And obviously we can unpack that in another session or some other time. But imposter syndrome is something that almost everybody like suffers from, and it just means that you're growing. Because if if you are excellent at something and you want to grow, you obviously have to grow into that new capacity, and that growth into new capacity can make you forget that you were once excellent in something. So you have to like kind of talk to yourself and prepare yourself for that shift. um Making a total transition, I think we've covered that. Finding a starting point, I think we've covered that. For me, I say explore your interest, choose one, do an intro course or a crash course, and just take it from there. Finding it difficult to land a UI UX role. I hope what I've said is helpful. For UI UX that's very visual, you need to learn and you also need to like share your work and just keep improving. If there's a UI UX person that you really, really like and you think that they've shared their portfolio, go look at it. You can send them a message, ask them. But when you send messages to people that you don't know, just know that they might decline or they might not answer. And so be prepared for that rejection or that redirection. Don't feel like because I asked one person and they didn't answer me, or do you get, and then be polite. And obviously, like I said, show value. So, hi, Yewande, hope you're well. I'm doing this Udacity UI UX role. I'm struggling to find the land the role. Please let me know if there are opportunities that you come across, or oh, I saw that you did this on your portfolio. You did, this landing page for Treford and everything. I just wanted to know, like, is there anything in specific that you did that made you help? Just something like let it be just not too long, not too short, but value and what the ask is. Um, there's I am stuck in telesales and customer representative role, and I want to transition to product marketing. My cheeky answer will be reach out to Treford and they will help you. But yeah, I think it's the same thing. Like, either get another customer service role in a product-led company that you really like and use that to go, because sometimes it's easier to move when it's internal, or join communities like Treford, share what you need, they would help you look at and just keep like improving yourself, because you can't be in a telesales or customer service role or customer representative role and you want a product marketing and people are asking you, like, you need to tell them why you're a good fit for the product marketing role, even if you don't have the experience. Like, why should they take a chance on you? What have you done? What skills, and so, for example, if you've done a Treford course and you say, okay, I've done this and I've done that, and even while I was at Treford, we did a case study and we did this and we did that, or I'm good at this, then you're selling yourself, and then it's easier for somebody to buy into your vision and bring you on board. Um, I don't have a clear part of what I'm doing, but I started learning programming. That's fantastic. I've shown you different people had different paths. Please learn something, work on projects, volunteer, or just get a job that helps you just improve your learning and, grow from there. Mentorship, the right path, the right learning path to go through and access product management resources. Obviously, I'm biased on this call, but Treford does a really great job for product management, product marketing. I think they do for technical writing as well. And Favor would also kind of hint on that. And finally, if you want to reach out to me, like I said, please don't send me hi. It's kind of like, really, really doesn't rub off the right way. So You can follow me on social media. I'm very responsive on Twitter, or you can email me on the startupplug@gmail.com. If you're trying to do a startup or you're trying to switch and you feel like there's something specific that in 5 minutes, I can help you with, please let me know. I'm happy to help. And yes, that's the end of my slide.
Thank you so much, Yewande, for that once again. So while you were answering that question, one last question came in on Slido.
Okay.
And I'll just read it out. It says, lastly, what is your advice to startups partnership with multinational companies?
Startup, I feel like this is a startup question.
Yeah, pretty much said for like how to start a startup masterclass.
I feel like some people are sneaking startup questions inside this class. So startup partnership with multinational is quite tricky, because it's almost like first, value for value. Like, you want to tell the the multinational, why they should partner with you. And in that kind of sense, one hack might be to look for someone that works in, or someone that knows someone that works in that multinational that can put in a word for you, or you reach out to them on LinkedIn and say, oh, we see I've been doing this, we're doing this, we don't mind doing a free trial or pilot with you. Or like, in everything that you want to partner in, or you want to ask, you need to understand, like, put yourself in their shoes. Like, why would I answer favor? Like, why do I give my attention to this? Or what can this do for my company? And if you look at it that way, it's easier for you to craft your messaging, to reach out to them, or to get them to partner with you. Like I said, another hack is, companies don't run on their own, they're run by people. And if you can find how to reach someone that works in that company, or someone that works in that unit, or someone that knows someone that works in that company that can do an intro for you, or do like, explain how it works, then that's an easier sell. So I hope that's helpful. That's like a generic summary, but yeah, that's basically what it might boil down to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's helpful. Sean, you could just let us know in the chat if that was helpful. Yes, thank you once again. So if anyone still has a question before we round this all off, you could just raise your virtual hands and I will unmute you. But now I'm just going to use this short time to get some feedback. It's important to always get feedback after.
You should rate me well. Rate me 100.
Okay, yes, really. So it's important to always get feedback, guys. And yes, this is time for where you share the feedback of what you've learned, basically, and how we can do better. So if you can, if you will indulge me by going to Slido to take part of this feedback poll. I've shared the link in the chat, and please just go ahead, share some feedback with us. How has it been? Okay, so what did you like or learn about the session from the session? Yeah, so we'll do this for about the next few minutes, and yes, and people on YouTube are thanking you as well, and they're trained fires.
Thank you. Thank you guys for helping my ministry.
Okay, relatability. We had examples for each career trajectory. Simplicity, nice. I'll allow a few more people to share feedback. Okay, someone sharing it. Yes, thank you very much, Tony, for that. I hope meaning was insightful. All right. I need more people to fill the poll. Okay, I see Afia's hand is raised. Afia, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, Yewande. It's nice to meet you again. I mean, it wasn't like I've met you before, but your Twitter spaces make me very happy.
Oh, nice to meet you. Hi.
So I'll just go right into it. I started my career in B2C marketing and I transitioned into tech last year, August last year, and I started by interning at a startup, and then eventually I moved up to being an associate product manager. And
Thank you.
startups.
Wait. Thank you for this, because so that people will not think I'm just talking. Thank you for being a real life example. But yeah, go ahead.
You're welcome. So working in a startup in Nigeria, I would say Nigeria because I've not experienced working in a startup outside Nigeria. I would just say is annoying, yeah. But at the same time, it helps me to become a generalist. Like I'm writing things like test cases, I'm understanding a whole lot of things. But at the same time, it's tiring. And then I speak to people and I'm like, yes, I'm doing this. Yes, I'm gaining knowledge. Yes, I'm becoming a generalist and having an idea of how everything goes. But at the same time, I feel like I need to be in a sane environment. Like I need to have things together. And they're like, oh no, you have to keep working. When you finish in one startup, move to another startup, and then you keep moving. And I'm like, I can't do this for long because it's stressful, especially when you're working with, some CEOs are not very patient. Yeah. So people make it seem like, oh, you have to keep working with people like that. And then maybe you have to keep gaining experience. And I'm like, yes, you can say I work under pressure, but don't kill me. Don't kill me. But I don't understand why people have that mindset because I feel like, yes, I can gain this experience, but I can also move into another company that's not, let's say, as tough. I mean, I know everybody is trying to make good use of the money or raise funding and all of that, but it's okay. I feel like it's okay for people to move from maybe startups with like maybe 2, 3, 4. I mean, you can decide to stay there, but also move to a place that's better. Yeah, that maybe they've expanded. But some people just feel like, no, you have to keep like suffering yourself for lack of a better word. So that's what I mean. I don't know if that's the normal thing. Yeah, so that's my question.
All right. That's back. So I think your what you're feeling is not like is normal. Like and if you notice, I said startups, they have, and you said the pros, which is obviously you do multiple things, you learn a lot, but the cons are you work under pressure. Even the founders are under pressure, the leaders are under pressure, even you're under pressure. It's chaotic, it can be unstructured. And I think so for you personally, you have to ask yourself, like I like when people say, okay, what value am I trying to add to this startup? And what value am I trying to take from this experience? So, for example, some people will say, okay, I'm going to wait for us to launch this product, reach 1,000 customers, finish my XYZ course, and do this and do that before looking elsewhere. Do you get? Because even if you go elsewhere, they'd want to know the value that you've done personally and to your previous work. Do you get? As you go in, and you can say, you know what, in this startup, it's currently so chaotic, but I'm also going to be part of the people that will make it more structured. So anybody else that is coming after me would already have like playbooks, would already have like a process, would already have something. And then I really like the founders, I really like the startup. It's chaotic now. I'm going to be patient and just help them build. But if that's not feasible, then you can say, okay, you know what in the next 6 months, like whatever time frame you've given yourself, say, okay, what value can I add to the startup so that I know that, okay, my blood, my sweat, my time in this startup, I'm actually going to get this result, or I'm going to help the company get this result. And then I'm also going to do this for myself. And after I've done that and I know I'm fulfilled, I can now start looking elsewhere. Or we're at this stage in our startup, the vision of the founder has said XYZ. So let me see if I can help them get closer to their vision, or let me see if I can even help them become less chaotic. And that's obviously if you align with what they're doing or what they're like, you like the founders, you like the company, you believe in the mission. But startups will always be a lot of pressure, especially in Nigeria. Nigeria is already a lot of pressure. Nigeria already has issues. So it's more around, do I see myself like being patient and making this place better? Or do I see myself as, okay, I'll make this place better, I'll improve myself, and I'll go to a better place? So I don't know if that answers or helps you understand how to make a decision. Cool. All right. Nice. 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 Favor, you're on mute.
All right. Yeah, I think with that we can, round it off. Okay. Okay, yes, that's great, that's great. So we kind of, that's
Oh,
like,
yes. Thanks, Yewande. Sorry, I just got unmuted.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
thank you
you.
very much, Afia, for that question. It feels like the cream de la cream to the session. Just rounded it off with that very, very awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Yewande.
Thank you
Um,
for everyone that joined. I really, really appreciate. Thank you.
yes, so you can see the feedback from here. It's been a very eye-opening session, very insightful session. Um, you know, and yes, the good stuff. Yes, when I asked them what we could do better, let's see. Then okay, I should touch more on this actually because I do believe this is a program for most beginners in tech journey. Okay. This is my wish if you can be doing this frequently. Give her more time. How much more time, guys? Okay. But yes, overall, I think it was really valuable. I think the person, yeah, it's been really valuable. So yeah, great one there. Thank you very much, Minyo, once again.
Thank you
Really
guys for my fantastic rating. The person that gave me one. I'm going to find the person.
oh my
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Yohane. With that, we come to the end of the session. I'm going to stop the recording now, as well as the last